What's good, everybody? Time for a DL short. Now, those of you who watch me and we talk about marriage in America, like in the Western world in general, but more particularly in America, I always say this about marriage in America. If you don't have anything to lose, go right ahead and get married. Like if you're the person, in the relationship that has less than, like you're a guy, average guy, earning average money, like most Americans out here, barely making it to paycheck, and you're dealing with a woman who is very well off, making well into six figures plus, a very nice 401k, pension, golden parachute, and all that. Like she has homes and condos and cars and every bag you can think of. If you're that dude and this woman wants to marry you, then by all means get married. Don't even hesitate. What's there to think about? You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Now, if you're the other person, if you're the person with the money, with the resources, if you're the person with the retirement and the golden parachute and all your portfolios are on point, if you're that guy that has all that and you're thinking about marrying a woman who has none of that, who is a barista at the coffee joint or dropping fries at the burger joint, which is nothing wrong with that. Right? There's a beautiful young woman at Burger King that I see once a week when my daughter and I pull in there, get my daughter something. Yo, little shorty is beautiful. I wouldn't be surprised at all if some dude drove through there, saw her, and wanted to make her his wife. Right? But if you are the person that has something to lose, well, now you need paperwork. Now you're going to need, right? You're going to need a prenup, a post-nup, in the middle nup. You're going to have to make sure that the financial stuff is separate from what you're doing with this person that you just met. So all of the money and all of the gains that you have while you guys are together is separate from everything you built prior to that person, right? That's how it works. And I've been saying this for a minute. Well, I came across a video, and I think it's called The Breakup Bounce. It's the YouTube channel. Check it out. It'll be linked in the description below. And they're having a discussion with brother James Sexton, who is the divorce guy. He's the guy who's he's a very successful divorce lawyer. He's made a name on YouTube in these YouTube trenches. He's the go-to guy when people are asking about what's going on in the world of the marriage law and all that. So go check out James Sexton if you can. Watch any of his videos, soft white underbelly, fresh and fit, wherever you see him being interviewed, listen to what he says. So I found a little clip here, and we're going to check this out and listen to what the brother has to say about what happens when feminists pay alimony, right? The person who has something to lose had to pay. Let's listen to this.
Is divorce harder on women or men?
I think it's equally hard on both, but I think that the world is more sympathetic to women when they get divorced. I think when a woman gets cheated on, the man's a piece of shit. And when a woman cheats on a man, she must have been forced into the arms of this other man, or she had to explore herself, or she was being neglected in some fashion. And so if a man cheats, he's a piece of garbage. And if a man's wife cheats, he mustn't have been meeting her needs, and she had every right in the world. So the world is very unsympathetic to men when they get divorced. There was a maternal presumption, a legal presumption, what was called the tender years doctrine, which was that if a child was under the age of 7, they were automatically presumed that they would be in the custody of the mother. So men get really beat up still in court. I mean, the law theoretically is gender blind right now, but I don't actually see that because the law.
Right. So I talk about this all the time. I'm like, the family court system doesn't care about your gender. They only want to know who makes the money so they can take the money from the person who makes it and give it to the person who doesn't. And they look at who has been doing what. Right. And again, this is a professional. This isn't. Right. This is the dude who's in the trenches every single day. This is one of the, top tier attorneys in the business. And he's telling you about different, doctrines and stuff like that. It is very difficult for men to just walk out of court with full custody. I mean, it happens, but it's rare. I guess maybe you could say it's happening more often now than it did in the past because they said that tender years doctrine or whatever, that's kind of fallen by the wayside. But it's normally when you go in and it's like, okay, you're going to get 50-50 custody is like your best case scenario. But who's going to be named, you know, the custodial parent, I mean, most of the time it's the woman, no matter what. Most of the time, it's like that doesn't even make sense. But most of the time, the mom is going to be named custodial parent. So the mom gets to make all these, you know, just a little bit more control, let's say, versus the dad, even if it's 50-50 custody. So, and then, of course, whoever the custodial parent is, the other parent is generally paying that parent money in the form of child support. So, and this is just what I've seen from sitting in there watching family court. Now, you know, Florida has changed their laws. So now not only is there no more forever alimony, which is huge, but on the non-marital side, if two people who've never been married go into court for, you know, over a child or whatever, like child support or whatever it may be, the default now is 50-50 custody. That's the law in Florida. You going in, it's 50-50 custody. They're going to start there. Whereas in California, you got to fight tooth and nail just to get to 50-50. And you're probably still going to be paying child support if you're the person who has the money, if you're the person with something to lose versus the person who doesn't. So let's continue.
Law is people. The law is judges, and judges are human, and they have all the same biases. And it's just not a moment right now where men are particularly sympathetic characters, even young men. I mean, if you know, if at a school dance they sing Beyonce's "Girls Who Runs the World," like if there was a song called "Men Who Runs the World," men, and it was a positive thing, like you get pilloried for that. So I think that men have a very hard time right now in divorce. They see their children less. They get hit harder financially. They are the bad guy no matter what. If they cheat, they're the bad guy. If they get cheated on, they were the bad guy because they probably neglected her. There's a presumption that the man is to blame a lot of the time. Men.
And that's a fact. And even when you find yourself in a family law system, you know, there are people out there, women in the family law system who are pro bono, not pro bono, but are pro se. They're in there without a lawyer that represents themselves. And they'll go in and they'll purposely do things like perjury, of course. They're gonna lie. Even all the attorneys will tell you family court is liar's court. I don't even know why they play like it's a real court. They even swear you in. You swear to tell the truth and all that. Why do they even do that? Why? Like, why do they even do that? But I've seen women go in a family court situation with all kind of bogus documents, with people coming in lying and all this kind of stuff, just to make the man look that much more of a monster or whatever, and it works. And even if the man is able to prove that the statements were false, the statements were, you know, made up, you know what I mean, that there's definitely perjury going on here, the judge will dance around it. They'll just move on. They won't say anything. Let the man do that. Let the man do that. He'll find themselves being Mirandized on the spot. They'll switch it from family court to like a criminal proceeding because they want to pursue perjury charges against this guy or whatever's going on. I've seen that. So again, that has a lot to do with like Brother Sexton said, Brother James said it. It was like, well, you know, the courts are made up of people. Judges are people, and people have these biases whether they realize it or not. And the dudes are more often than not are the bad guys.
Find a less sympathetic world. But in fairness, divorced men have it a little easier. Divorced men meet a young woman and the woman's like, instant family, just add me. That's great. You know, if he's got kids, it's like, oh, he's got kids. Look at how nurturing he is and how lovely. Women, they get divorced. They've got kids. Guys are like, whoop, it's got baggage. I'm not going near that. Men and women have different problems post-divorce. And the world.
I see where he's coming from with that. Like if you're a dude, you get destroyed in the family court system and whatever happened. Let's say you wind up with close to 50% custody or whatever, but between alimony and child support, it just destroyed you financially, but you buckled down, you did the work, you built yourself back up. And now you're back to where you were. Even paying all that money, you're earning even more, so you're doing really well. And you're on the dating market and you take care of your kids. And like I said, you get your kids half the time. You running, you know, whatever you guys are running. Yes, that's going to be attractive to some women, especially young women. They're going to see that, like, yeah, this is the guy I want. Versus a female who goes out. Just the other day, I was out, you know, just networking and trying to take care of some business. And there was an older woman there, very attractive, very nice. She had three or four kids, I forget. Right? She was older. She's definitely pushing her 40s. She'd taken care of her body and all that. Recently divorced. You know, very pleasant, funny, you know, all that kind of stuff. And in my mind, I'm thinking, boy, she's got a lot of kids. I don't want to deal with it. Her oldest is like an older teen, like getting close to being a legal adult. And then her youngest were like around 9 or something like that, between 6 and 9 or something like that. No way I want to touch that. As far as a long-term relationship or anything like that. Her schedule was so hectic. I doubt it. I mean, I was shocked she had time to even come out. But again, you know, you co-parent or whatever, so the kids or wherever. Plus, you got an older kid who can kind of watch the younger kids. And this woman working hard, has her own stuff. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure she's getting a pretty penny through the divorce process as far as alimony and child support and stuff like that. She's probably in the house, don't really get paid for the house. So she's doing good, but she's very busy. Like the only thing I can do with that woman is just it'll be 100% physical. Just when you get a break in the action, holler at me. We'll go out, have some wine, do whatever, have a nice meal, and then in the night, you know what I mean? Just bust one in the night with that, and then send you on your way. Call me next time you're free. You might be able to see that woman every other month or something like that. No man who has done the work and is at the top tier levels is going to want to hitch his wagon to a woman with that going on. It's just not going to be any time for him. Now you're raising someone else's children. You're in that process. If you have children from a previous relationship, now you got to blend the families. There's that process. I mean, it's a nightmare. So, I mean, even though guys do it, it's like, bro, y'all need to think this through. Why do all that when you can find that young girl, right, who's like looking at you like Brother James just said, oh, instant family, just add me kind of thing. But dudes don't look at women like that, like, oh, instant family, just add me. Plus, that woman still is going to want someone who does better than she does. She's going to, you know, still hypergamy is a thing. She's going to want someone who makes more than she does, you know, who has better prospects, who's taller and faster and stronger and funnier and all that other kind of stuff. If you possess all those qualities as a man, bro, why would you be messing with a 40-year-old? You can get yourself whatever you want, right? Because you are what all the women are looking for. So like he says, post-divorce, I get what he's saying. It's probably easier and maybe better in a sense for the men as opposed to the women. And I see that. That makes sense.
World could be better to both of them. I have some women who I've done their divorce, and whatever guy is with them is going to be very lucky because they're beautiful, they're smart, they're good moms, but they're also, you know, vibrant, exciting women.
Now they're loaded.
And they've got money now. Yeah, they've got money. They don't have as much financial insecurity. Although I have to tell you that, you know, it's the last remaining feminist taboo. I got a lot of women paying alimony these days. I mean, you know, women marry the like handsome musician who's not successful or the artist. There's been a significant effort in our culture in the last decade, if anyone didn't notice, to improve the situation of women. If you have an equally qualified man and an equally qualified woman, the woman's the diversity hire, the man's not. So I have a lot of women who when they get told like, oh yeah, no, you got to give him half your shit. Or, oh no, you got to pay alimony because he makes 50 grand a year and you make 250. And they're like, you know, they could be the staunchest feminist in the world. And when you tell them they got to pay alimony, they're like, whoa, 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 whoa. He's a man. He's got a strong back. He can get out there and work.
And he ain't lying. This is why the whole feminism thing doesn't work. It just doesn't work. At the end of the day, like, you know, like Rollo Tomasi says all the time, women have become the very men that they want to marry. And they price themselves out of the very market that they're, you know, in. Right? You got a woman out here making $250,000 a year, and she's looking for a guy that does better than she does. Like, well, there's just not that many Americans, period, to make that kind of money. And then when you filter for all the various things, single, certain height, you know, charisma, you know, a guy who's funny and a guy who's driven, but he's also, you know, soft enough to want to write you a sonnet, and he's not gay, and he's not in a relationship, and he's in your area. When you factor in all that, when you control for all that, when you're talking about, if you're in the $250,000 and up club as far as, you know, salary, that's how much you're making. It can't be but 3% of dudes out there in the entire country that would qualify for you. I mean, even less than that, really. You know, now you're getting into it might be, I don't know, 20 or 30,000 men in all of America, right? That you would consider, okay, I'll let him talk to me. There's just not enough of them out there. So yeah, These women, like I said, the courts don't care, male or female. They're just looking at who has the money, and there are dudes out there getting over. You know, it's working out for these dudes, but mostly women take full advantage of this. Most dudes, they don't like the idea of their, like, if some woman is paying them money. But things, you know, like I said, times are changing. the battlefield is constantly shifting, it's constantly evolving. And like I said, there are guys out there getting alimony, and there are guys out there getting child support. There are dudes out there who are taking care of the kids, and they continue to take care of the kids.
And then suddenly the whole like gender is a construct and there's no such thing, that goes right out the window when you get told you got to pay alimony. That's like, nope, no. I believe in strict gender roles. Men should pay alimony. Women, even if you earn 10 times, you should not have to pay alimony. I've had very, very staunchly feminist clients who changed their mind about how feminist they were when they got told that they were going to have to pay alimony. But I do have a lot of men who won't take alimony even though they're entitled to it, because there's just some feeling of like, yeah, no, I'm not doing that. It's emasculating. Like if she tells people that we know that I took alimony from her, like people will think I'm less than a man. So again, it's all gender stuff. It's still out there. It's still part of the zeitgeist. You know, we're still trying to figure it all out.
How many marriages are genuinely happy, you think?
I know a lot of people, and I think I know one couple that has like a genuinely happy marriage.
What do you think the secret is?
They really like each other. I don't know. Like they're really good to each other.
I'm in the same boat. I know just off the top of my head, I can name one couple that I watched them go from dating to being married to all the way to crossing the finish line, raising their children and all that. And they're still happy doing their thing. I talk about them all the time. I know one couple. One. I know one couple. I know a lot of people who've been married. I know a lot of people who've been married multiple times. But I don't know many who have gone the distance. What's the secret? They just work at it. The both of them. You know what I mean? You know, the husband and the wife, mom and dad, they just work at it. You know, we used to live in an era where divorce was frowned upon. It was hard to get divorced. People were in church. The church would shun you. The community would shun you. You know, people just stayed in terrible relationships. That's just how it was. Now, people don't do that. We don't have community anymore. There's no more shame. There's no more church, really. The church doesn't really have a say in what's going on. It's really just the government. Women look at the bottom line like, well, I could leave this dude and get all his bread. I'm going to get half. I'm going to get the house. I'm going to get this. I'm going to get that. So there's more incentive to leave the relationship than it is to make it work. And here's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me let you in on a little secret. All relationships take work. All of them. It ain't easy. So like I said, the couple that I know, I got to see them at their best and at their worst. I got to see them work through things. They have a process that they work through stuff that works really great. I'm not going to share it with the masses because they shared it with me, but I'm not in a relationship, but it makes complete sense and it works for them. But you see, that's what they did. They figured it out. We're going to figure out a way to make this work. Simple. And then as far as the guy, he's a top tier guy. He's the type of dude that women just go crazy over. Right, but he has the woman that he wants. He's not looking at any other woman. If he wanted, he can smash, oh my God, a legion of women if he wanted to, but he doesn't. He's not that guy. He's always believed in marriage. He's always believed in commitment. This is the life he's living. So shout out to them.
I have to tell you, they make me very uncomfortable. My ex-wife and I jokingly say that they were the reason we got divorced. We've known them since we were in college, and we went to Disney with them, with their kids and our kids when all the kids were little. And we were going to go on a ride with our kids and their kids. And they were going to like, you know, we'll take the kids on the ride and you guys can go. And my friend was like, oh, good. We're just going to go walk and hold hands. And they walked away and like holding hands. And we looked at them and we didn't say anything to each other. But like 5 years later, when we got divorced, I said, you know, when I saw the two of them together, I thought, I don't feel like that about her. Like, and she said, oh my God, I remember that exact moment. I felt the same way. So I think they make people uncomfortable. Like when you see someone who's got it right, like this guy just loves her. He loves her. They've been married 25 years. And dude, it's like he's talking about a girl he met yesterday. And she's the same way about him. Like
it's a miracle when that happens.
I tell people marriage is like the lottery. You are probably not going to win. But if you win, what you win is so good. Like I don't know, maybe buy a ticket. Fuck it. Like, but buy it to get a prenup. Do you take all your money and buy lottery tickets? No. But if you, and I don't buy lottery tickets. Like, I don't play the lottery. You're not going to fucking win. Why? You know, set the money on fire. It'll be more fun. But if somebody said to me, no, man, you know what? Once a week, I buy $20 worth of lottery tickets. All right, go for it. You know, somebody's got to win. Maybe it'll be you. Like, same thing with marriage. Like, maybe somebody's got to win. Like, yeah, I've met hundreds, if not thousands of couples. And I know one that is legitimately happy and like really seem to just feed that happiness by that marriage that they have. And they both.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And he's just going to finish with, and they both feel the same way or whatever. But that lottery metaphor. I mean, he said he knows hundreds of thousands of married couples because he only knows one that won. God, I don't know, bro. If I was to make up numbers, I would say, I don't know, between 3 and 5% of marriages actually work where they love each other and they made it work. However that looks, I would say 3 to 5%. Out of all the people who have ever gotten married, whoever will get married, I think somewhere in that world, I think that's a good number between 3 and 5%, which is like, you know, you're looking at basically, 95 to 97% chance of failure in some form. You've got 3 to 5% chance of winning. But it takes a lot of work, and you got to know who you're marrying and stuff like that. And most importantly, you got to be committed. You say those words, you got to mean those words, no matter what religion you're in, what God you believe in. You're saying those words, like live up to the words. And if you don't want to live up to those words that are in the Bible or Torah or Quran, make up your own words and live by that. That's what I tell folks. But you heard it from James Sexton. He gave it to you, raw and uncut, right? It goes back to what I said at the beginning of this video. If you have something to lose, you may want to take precautions and get him married. I say don't do it, but if you're going to do it, prenup, postnup, whatever it takes. But if you don't have anything to lose, if you're just the average American who's struggling to make it and somebody who's wealthy comes up and wants to sweep you off your feet and marry you, then by all means, marry that person. That's it. Food for thought, guys. That's all I got to say. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave your comments below. Let me know how you're thinking. If you are one of those couples or you are half of a couple that's been married for 20 plus years and you guys have made it work and you still love each other, man, I would love to hear from you. Please leave a message below. If you know someone like that, please leave a message below. Like I said, I know one couple, one that I can think of off the top of my head. If I go back as far as my memory will take me, bro, less than 10. It didn't get divorced. It is happy to this day and all that. That doesn't mean that they didn't have any bad days, but they just worked through it. I would say less than 10 couples, and I'm in my 50s. So that's it. That's all I got. I'm going to talk to y'all later on BL Saint. Peace.